The Queen, living life as it was always meant to be. This is class 3, the architect of life. In our last class, we talked about the powers of woman, about how each aspect serves humanity in its own way, why a woman must crown herself, and we shared the chart on the overgiving mother. In this class, we cover a lot of ground. We will talk about the Queen as architect of civilization, more queenly laws of life, a queen's vision, what your realm as queen is, your body as a sacred vessel, the queen's energy field, and how we can leak energy. We talk about the top 5 things most women fear and how to deal with fear at the physical level with specific bodily movements, what to do when your energy is completely depleted, and answering the question for yourself very specifically, why are you here? And how to write effective affirmations. We'll talk about societal myths that can harm us. We'll talk about giving yourself a motto and the difference between queen mind and mass mind. So let's get started. The Queen, architect of civilization. The Queen is both the architect of civilization for all humanity and the architect of a woman's individual life. When the architect is not in place for humanity, when there are not enough queenly women leading society, humanity degenerates into the opposite of civilization, which is barbarity, violence, war, and complete degeneration over time. When the architect is not in place for an individual woman, her personal life is likewise a big mess. She does violence to herself. She allows others to do violence to her. She has a lot of conflict in her life that she doesn't understand, and her health and finances and relationships tend to degenerate over time. The mother aspect provides the life force. The queen aspect decides how the energy of that life force shall be applied in the world. The mother aspect is the creatrix of human beings, and the queen aspect is the creatrix of the culture of human beings. That is why it is essential for every human mother to have both mother and queen aspects working together, for it is she who must not only create her children physically and birth them into the world, but also train them in the proper culture of humanity. Presently, women are birthing children into the world, but it is the patriarchal mindset that is teaching them the culture of humanity, and it is not a culture of oneness and reverence for life. So the queen must return to the mother and take that function of teaching culture, a good culture, take that back from patriarchy, which has improperly been allowed to create culture for us. The word architect comes from a Greek word meaning master builder. And as we have talked about, to build anything in the physical world, the seen world, there must first exist a vision for that thing in the unseen world. And the architect, the queen, is the one who holds the vision of what a woman desires, carefully drawing plans and laying it all out in her mind as the first step to physical manifestation. As we have touched on, an architect who intends to build something strong and whole, something that will stand the test of time, must first understand how creation fundamentally works, must understand what the laws of physical reality are, which includes the laws of quantum mechanics, critical to our understanding of manifestation. This understanding of life's laws is the foundation to the queen's ability to create civilization, literally to create reality for herself and for humanity, the humanity she has birthed, the humanity which is only here because of her. As we have spoken about in the past class, we must have a vision first in order to set forth a specific design or plan. We have to understand the laws of construction before we can intelligently design either a building or a life, one that will stand strong and not fall down on our heads. Civilization comes from a word meaning citified, as contrasted with the natural or the wild. If the maiden rules the wild, the natural, it is the queen who rules civilization. Here's an ancient coin depicting the Anatolian goddess Cybele, shown as queen of civilization. And you see there the crown upon her head, which is comprised of literally the walls of the city. The queen literally has the responsibility of civilization upon her head. Without her queen, her architect, a woman's life just happens to her. Only the woman who brings forth her queen, her architect, can have a clear plan and vision for her life. Without an architect, there can be no overarching plan, no intention, no big picture. Without an architect, a woman's life just happens to her. She is constantly in reaction mode. She is simply responding to what seems to randomly occur, or more often she responds to what others are planning for her and what others want of her, instead of creating her life intentionally from her own core. Someone offers her a job and she takes it. She's attracted to a man and they marry. This is having no plan. My own mom's story is very typical of many women because her own mother was not familiar with her queen and so could not teach her own daughter to be a queen. As a teenager, my mom had no clear vision for her life. She had a vague idea of having a nice husband, nice children, a nice little house with a white picket fence, and that was it. That was her life vision. She met my father at age 17. She fell in love, got pregnant, had to get married, accidentally had more babies, no plan, no plan, no plan. Everything just happened to her. She hoped for the best, but she did not plan for the best. No architect. So perhaps pause the video if you wish and take a moment to think about how much you have planned your own life from the time you were a young girl. And did anyone teach you that this was important to do? Did anyone teach you specifically how to make a plan for your life? No one did that for me. So my mom dealt with it all as best she could, but through all those years without her queen, my mother never actually got what she wanted. It is the queen within a woman who gets that woman what she really wants in life, provides satisfaction. That is one of the queen's powers, is the power to be satisfied. It is the queen within a woman who helps that woman have total clarity about what she wants in the first place. And this is a problem for a lot of women. They're not actually, no one's ever actually asked them what they want. And they've never focused on it. They've only focused on serving others. So a lot of women actually don't have any clarity on what they actually really want for themselves. My father got what he thought he wanted, to drag us all over Hellengone looking for buried treasure. But mom never got what she wanted, the little white picket fence house and that quiet, stable, peaceful, reasonably prosperous middle class life. It is the queen in a woman. It is the queen perspective that says, I am very clear on exactly what I want, and here is my specific plan for manifesting it. It is the queen who helps a woman get what she wants for herself, for her life. And there must be a place front and center in every woman's psyche for this queenly perspective. And the time to bring it forth is always in the beginning. Many women's general life plan seems to consist of simply trying to avoid total disaster. And attempting to avoid disaster is not vision. This is the woman acting from her working mother aspect, with no visionary queen to guide and protect her. The queen is the one in command. Without a strong queen, a woman cannot be in control of her own life and does not have the plan or the power to manifest what she desires. Just like my mother, many women meet a person to whom they are attracted, a person they love. Then they mate. Then starts the struggle to try to create a happy life with that person. And this is backwards. Sometimes it works, but as statistics show, as my family's experience shows, more often it ends in confusion, grief, and divorce. The queen, on the other hand, begins with a very clear, crystal clear vision for the kind of life she wishes. She then meets potential partners. If the potential partner does not fit her vision, she doesn't abandon her vision simply because she is attracted to that person and wishes to mate. As we talk more in the class on relationship, the queenly woman marries not just for love, but as an act of state. And we'll find out what that means very specifically in that class. Yes, of course, love is important, but love is not all you need. So fine, go have a one-night safe sex stand if you want. Just don't get confused. Don't marry that person just because you're attracted to him or her. Love is not all you need. The queen holds her vision patiently and powerfully, knowing that she is every day magnetizing the mate who is the one who fully and completely supports her beautiful vision for her life. She is not passively waiting for this person, half asleep, like some sleeping beauty waiting for some knight to save her. She is in charge. She is focused. She is actively magnetizing not just a person she is attracted to, but a person she is attracted to who also naturally agrees with and supports her vision for their life together. As we touched on previously, the queen has a spiritual foundation and a cosmology. She has arrived at a reasonably clear idea of how she thinks the universe generally works, what the divine is, and what the basic laws of the universe are, at least as far as she's concerned. Because even an atheist queen has to have a cosmology. She has to have a belief and an understanding about the way the world works. Of course, this can and usually does evolve over time as an individual woman grows and learns and remembers, but every woman has to start somewhere with something very clear. The laws that she chooses to believe in hold her at her center, keep her standing up in life, no matter what the unexpected conditions. If you are not clear on your cosmology and your theology, you'll have no foundation on which to build. And by the way, the word theology here is not misspelled. This is theology as in with the female at the center, not the male. But no one teaches us all the real laws of life. Sure, we may get some dribs and drabs of good stuff from mom and dad if they're really aware people. We might get some from teachers and friends and possibly religious organizations, but really, most of us get a lot of seriously bad misinformation. And we will take a very hard look at this bad information later as we discuss societal myths. Even most of us fortunate enough to get good and true information about life and the laws of life when we are children don't ever really get the whole picture until later in life. And some people never get all of the laws, which is why their lives don't work very well. Generally, most of us learn by mistakes, by hard knocks, and by our own spiritual study. So let's see if we can't just speed that up right here and now. If you intended to play a game with a group, you would need to know the rules. Otherwise, you would have no ability to play intelligently. You couldn't enjoy the game. You couldn't interact with others in ways that were meaningful and useful to the game. And finally, you would have little chance to actually win the game if that was your intention. This is exactly how life is for most people. When we are children, no one teaches us the actual rules to the game. They teach us some, mythical variety of the rules of the societal norms of the day, taught to us through common everyday proverbs, homilies, and sayings. Each class of society has a different set of rules, and it is the rare woman who can clearly see that these rules that she was taught do not necessarily need to apply to her. As a quick preview, here are just a few of the oppressive rules that the middle and lower classes in the U.S. are taught. If you were raised owning class, that would be the super, super wealthy, the 1%, then you would have been taught an entirely different set of rules by which to live. If, however, like most of us, you were raised upper, middle, or lower class, you may think that you have gone beyond these patriarchal teachings, and perhaps you have. But remember, these rules are the societal water in which we all swim every single day. These are the rules by which 90% of the people in American society actually live and breathe and run their lives. Don't offend others, don't rock the boat, fit in, blend. Work hard, do what is expected. Take your lumps, because struggle ennobles a person and creates character. No pain, no gain. Life is hard. There is only so much of the pie to go around. It's a dog-eat-dog world. Kill or be killed. We're not like the rich. The rich are fundamentally different. If you follow the rules, you won't get hurt. Or often the converse. If you follow the rules, you're a sucker. He who dies with the most toys wins. The societal myths we are taught tell us how people of our class are expected to behave in patriarchal society, but they don't actually teach us the true basic laws of life upon which a queen founds her life. These are the laws that are beyond class, beyond shifting societal mores. That's why so many never win at life. We have no clue as to what the actual rules of the real game are. If, as children, we were taught the real rules, the real laws of life, everything would change. The game would be much more enjoyable for everyone, and we would win. In other words, we'd be happy, fulfilled, and self-actualized much more often. As it is, most of us fumble along as maidens and young girls, as mothers, young women, trying to figure out the laws of life, making lots of mistakes and wasting a lot of time. For most of us, it is not until our mature queen years, so-called middle age, that we actually begin to understand what these laws are. This is why the patriarchal world is so afraid of the middle-aged woman, why she is so denigrated, so despised, so put down. Because with this understanding of how life actually works, she is just beginning to step into her power. And empowered women uplift everyone. Empowered women fully in their queen aspect spell the end of the dominator model culture with its waste and lack of justice and its war and its violence and its deprivation. Patriarchy says the queen is the most dangerous woman of all to us. Down with the queen. So we've talked about the rose teachings, reverence for all life, oneness, all is sacred, all is eternal. So let's add now to our conversation some important additional laws related to how the universe functions. Energy flows constantly. The One is constantly flowing the nourishing currents of divine energy through and to herself and everything. Life force, chi, ki, prana, energy, hado, niyama, all these are many names for the same thing, divine energy, or energy with a capital E. Everything is vibrating and moving constantly. Everything is alive with the energy of the one consciousness. Any human being can either accept and flow with this continuous divine energy, which shows wisdom and grace, or they can block and obstruct it, which shows separation, ignorance, and fear. Any human being can either be numb to the existence of divine energy or aware of it. Any of us can choose to drink from the hidden stream or die of thirst on the very banks of the flowing water. Energy is neutral and singular. You hear the terms masculine or feminine energy. This is incorrect. Energy is like electricity. One does not say electricity is either masculine or feminine. It is simply neutral. It is singular. Likewise, energy itself, energy with a capital E, is never masculine or feminine, but like an electrical cord wrapping and directing electricity, energy can be wrapped in a quality of our choosing and directed as we wish. This is free will. Energy is a neutral power in our hands to use for good or ill, in a connected way, in a spirit of oneness, or in a disconnected way, separated from the divine, which is how patriarchy does it. Like attracts like. Energy wrapped in a certain quality, and some would call this a vibration, tends to attract energy of a similar quality and rate. Superficially, in the world of duality, especially at the beginning of something, at the beginning of a relationship, say, it can seem true that opposites attract. But in the deeper world of truth underlying seeming duality, the more essential and basic law is like attracts like. Each of us is constantly wrapping and directing energy with our individual chosen qualities, which you could call our attention. And we are all either holding an awareness of ourselves as the one, connecting with Source, the great ocean, or separating from it, becoming a stagnant little dead pool. Each of us creates our life out of our personal pool, our own choices. Our personal pool is our individual concept of the world as we choose to hold it. Our personal pool is fed by the hidden stream, which colleague and teacher Vajrama has described in her great book, the energy coming from the one great ocean. That's the hidden stream, the energy coming from the one great ocean. It is the medium, the water in which we each, personally, out of our own conscious state, choose to swim every day. Attention directs energy. That which we focus on tends to manifest or expand in our lives. Energy flows where attention goes, and then results show. All forms of directed energy are ultimately mirrored back to or returned in some form to the sender. We can consciously reconfigure the quality of our personal pool with intention, with awareness, with continued disciplined focus. We can direct this energy using feeling-based prayer, love, compassion, magnetic intention, and the law of attraction to improve our lives and to heal our world. We can change our lives starting right now with a change in where we place our attention and focus. Every female is sovereign. Every female on earth is a walking embodiment of Goddess, of Source, of the divine. Her body contains all the knowledge and wisdom of the cosmos. She has infinite compassion, goodness, wisdom, love. She holds the four aspect powers within her: maiden, mother, queen, and wise woman elder. She is priestess at her own altar. She is queen of her own realm, and she is sister to all other women. She can directly access divinity for her own benefit. No intermediary is ever needed. She can use her divinely inspired intuition to guide her. She is free to do as she will, providing her intent is wholesome to herself and to others. She is the natural spiritual authority for life in general and her realm in specific. Here you see Cixi, a great Chinese queen who effectively controlled the entire government for an amazing 47 years, from 1861 until her death in 1908. Here you see her with her attendants. She is in the center. She started out as a mere concubine, but she was so powerful and so confident in her own being that in this very patriarchal setting, she worked her way to total and complete power. And check those nails. The queen is the conscious link between the unseen world of spirit and potential and the seen world we see all around us in the physical. Ideas always come first, followed by material manifestations of that idea. The queen aspect is the conscious link between the unseen and the seen, between ideas and manifestation, the link that deliberately chooses rather than simply allowing something to unfold spontaneously. Allowing something to unfold spontaneously without a plan is an aspect of life that is wonderful and necessary and very important. At the same time, it is also a great benefit to woman to have both abilities, both allowing, surrendering to life, and deliberately choosing what you want in life. The queen is the aspect of deliberate choosing. As an example, a woman may become pregnant solely from her infinitely creative and powerful mother aspect, or she may deliberately plan and choose when and how she becomes pregnant. A woman who plans in this way is using her queen and mother aspects in concert for her own best interests and for the interests ultimately of everyone in her realm. She combines the power of the mother's infinite creativity, the ability to create a human life, with the power of the queen to clearly intend and plan for the greater good. And the queen does not fear to choose. Queen Zixi was willing to choose to fight to the death when there were those making war upon her. She said of them, "Now they have started the aggression, and the extinction of our nation is imminent. If we just fold our arms and yield to them, I would have no face to see our ancestors after death. If we must perish, why not fight to the death?" In speaking of meeting her ancestors after her death, we see that Zixi herself saw herself as eternal and saw her choices now, her queenly choices now, as affecting her entire eternity in the hereafter. Your word as queen must be law. Once you speak something, you must follow through. Do not speak that which you do not intend to hold. It undermines everything that you go for afterwards. Live your life as though everything you speak is universal law. Everything you do is born of universal law or will become universal law. Live as if all your actions are multiplied 1,000-fold. What would be the result? How might this view change your actions? When reflecting on your queenly choices, always ask yourself, what would infinite consciousness do? Because that is what you are, infinite consciousness. And asking yourself that question allows you to expand your being infinitely in the moment. And it's particularly useful if you are feeling a little human moment of irritation or anger or resentment or jealousy or envy or competitiveness or maybe lack consciousness, poverty consciousness. Ask yourself, what would infinite consciousness do right now? What would infinite consciousness see about this situation right now? What would infinite consciousness say right now? Do that, be that, say that. Be who you really are. Infinite consciousness. Well, here's our final law for this class. There are no shortcuts. I know. Don't we all want a shortcut to all this learning? But really, there are no shortcuts to anything relating to the basic laws of life, to the energetic principles of the universe. Everyone must follow the laws. We cannot break the laws. We can only break ourselves upon them. So now create your own list of laws of life as the foundation for your realm. What you've just heard are the laws of life as I see them. You may have others. You may have completely different laws of life. So create a list of your own, the principles you believe in, the things you know for sure. As the architect of your life, these form the foundation upon which you build your realm. They act as the underpinning for all your decisions and actions. They are the standards to which you hold yourself as you spiritually lead your realm. And they are the standards that you teach to all in your realm. Your job as queen is to make it clear to everyone in your realm, that for which you are 100% responsible, that these are the standards to which you expect them to adhere. Not for your own aggrandizement, but simply for everyone's ultimate good, so that everyone is on the same page in your realm. These are the standards you will be remembering when you encounter a situation, perhaps like a new partner, potential partner, that maybe seems to challenge your laws of life. How easily will you let them go to please someone? How easily will you let them go to attract someone? The queen never throws her laws of life away whimsically for some passing fancy. To prepare to create your own laws of life, you might ask yourself these questions. What do I know for sure? What is completely and totally unacceptable to me? What can I never, ever accept in my realm? What can I absolutely not live without? What do I believe is absolutely essential to a good, full life? And what do I believe destroys any possibility for a good life? What are my most fundamental spiritual beliefs? What am I willing to do to adhere to my own laws myself? And how far would I go to enforce my own laws of life in my own realm? And finally, how can I make my laws even more clear for those who live in my realm and for those who temporarily visit my realm? If you wish, pause the video now and begin to write your own laws of life. Work with them for a few days if necessary, and then consider posting them to your house, posting them somewhere inside your house to remind yourself of what you believe, and also to remind those in your realm of what the laws in your realm are, what the standards of behavior rest on. I've posted my laws in my guest room, so my guests know what the standards are of the home they are staying in, my realm. The queen is the visionary of life. Think of her as the captain of the ship. It is the queen and woman who holds a great vision for how we can be our best as humans. It is she who imbues those of us in her realm with this vision, giving us a sense of purpose, of togetherness, and the possibility of a good future, of safety, of security, within the context of an environment and a culture where we are free to grow and evolve and find our own happiness. This is the queen's field. This is her personal pool. Think of it as the beautiful, energetic pool of vibration, of power, of information, of belief, of choice that surrounds a good queen as she moves through the world, the sea through which she sails through life, affirming her choices to promote her vision of an ideal world. If we are within her realm, for example, if we are an employee of a queen, well, then this is the pool we live in, her pool, at least while we are at work. When we return home, we're now queen in our own realm. So think of yourself as captain of your ship, and your ship is your realm. As captain, it is your job to set the direction of the boat and the requirements of behavior for those in the boat, those who live within your realm. It is the queen who says, this is the direction in which we're sailing. In other words, people of my realm, these are the intentions of this realm. Do you support these intentions? If so, get in my boat and let's sail together. Then she says, here's where we intend to make landfall. And what she's saying is, this is the good world we're going to end up in together, that we're going to create together. These are the many rewards we will share and enjoy in this life that we're creating together with this intention, with this vision that you're on board with. Then she says, this is the way we're going to act and treat each other as we sail together. In other words, she's telling her realm, these are the boundaries that you may not cross. This is what will be expected of you in this ship. And all of it is for your own good. This is what the Queen tells those in her realm. As a child, I always hated tests because they always made me feel as though someone was trying to figure out if I was smart enough or good enough for them. If you too dislike tests, don't worry, no one's going to see this test. This is only for you. So get ready to answer a question. Go get a pen now, and you have 60 seconds to complete a sentence. No fudging on time, and you have to answer it in one single, complete grammatical sentence. All right, the sentence is, I am here on Mother Earth to... Now complete that sentence, pause the video for 60 seconds, and answer. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, let's pretend 60 seconds is up. Stop. Take a look. Your personal field of vision is the current point or purpose of your life. Why you are here, not here in this room, but here on the planet. It will change over the course of your life as you change. It may change many times as you evolve. The Queen knows always, at any given moment, exactly why she is here. People are always asking, what do you do? But they're really asking, what are you here for? The queenly woman can always answer this question at any point in her life in a brief, succinct statement. The same statement over and over, at every party, at every meeting, for everyone who asks, until she deliberately chooses to change it. So if you aren't satisfied with your answer above, try again. Finish the sentence, keeping your writing to a single grammatical sentence. Cross out and rewrite as many times as you need to until you are satisfied. And then look at how you did. Were you able to complete a single grammatical sentence that truly reflected your current intention in life, why you are here on the planet? If so, congratulations, you are a rare and queenly woman who has utter clarity on her purpose, on her vision. Vision, intention, purpose, mission, they all mean slightly different things, but for the purposes of this discussion, we'll blend them together. And right now we're talking about your personal mission in life. Why are you here on Mother Earth? If you couldn't finish this sentence in 60 seconds, why not? You didn't have enough time? The amount of time it takes a woman to come to clarity on this statement is actually the distance between her and her queen aspect. You might say, well, there are a lot of things I'm here for. How can I choose just one? The queen focuses her energies to become successful. If a woman has scattershot interests, her energy is not focused, and she most likely will not be able to powerfully manifest the things most important to her. The queenly woman is not a dilettante. It's fine to be interested in many things. And if you want to bring something into fruition in the physical world, you need to focus on that one thing long enough to have it precipitate out, as they say, into this physical reality. How do you know you've got too many irons in the fire or not enough clarity on your vision or purpose? Because nothing is coming to fruition in the way you intend. You're pregnant forever, but you never deliver. The queen zeroes in on her intention, her mission, her vision, and she sees it through. You don't wear every dress in your wardrobe at the same time. You have to choose, and you have to wear one at a time. So we all have many interests, but just one is the purpose of your life for this moment of your life. Choose it and wear it until you're really ready for a change of clothes. So here are some examples to inspire you of vision statements for different life phases of woman, the maiden, mother, queen, and crone. So here's a maiden's vision statement. She's a student, a science student. I am here learning, growing, and prospering in joy, confidently gaining wisdom in the field of science, with the intention of adding to that field later for the benefit of all life. In your vision statement, be sure to include lots of feeling words because it's a feeling universe. Everything rides in to the physical on your feelings. Have your vision statement be full of wonderful feeling, and also include how your mission or vision connects to and benefits not just you or your immediate family, but all of life somehow. Here's an example of a vision statement for a stay-at-home mom. I am here raising 4 beautiful spirits in health, happiness, harmony, and prosperity, thereby providing an example to all the world of a loving and joyful family. Here's a vision statement for an office worker with children who's in her mother phase. I am here providing well for my happy family, an example to the world of a balanced, abundant, joyful mother, teaching good values to the next generation for the benefit of the world. Here's a woman in her mother phase who's an author, no children. I am here confidently adding my piece of wisdom to humanity in a spirit of joy through my talent for writing and my birthing of brilliant books. Here's one from a queen who's a volunteer at our Women's Center. This woman is in her queen years of life, 60 years old. I am here peacefully holding space for the queen in woman to bring goodness back to humanity. Here's another one from a queen, age 63. She's the owner of a company. I am here confidently holding a harmonious realm of productivity and profitability, providing a helpful widget to the widget needers of the world. Well, she doesn't actually make widgets, but we threw that in just so it would be all-inclusive, no matter what your company might make. Here's one from the wise woman phase of life. She's so-called retired, traveling the world, meeting people. I am here happily connecting spirits for the delight and benefit of all, radiating divinity for the peace, empowerment, and blessing of all I meet. So she thinks her job, she knows her mission to be connecting spirits on earth, helping to network and meet people and help them meet each other. What a great mission. Here's an example of a vision statement from a very much elder woman. She's bedridden and she's dying. I am here peacefully, contentedly, consciously praying and holding for the greatest good for all that is, for all sentient beings. So we see that, yes, even the woman lying in bed, unable to move, dying, has a sacred purpose and can live as a great queen, engaged in that purpose for whatever time she has left in the body. So make sure you have a clear vision to guide your life, make it the most joyful and productive it can be. Let these vision statements inspire you to create your own, post it in your office, your bedroom, on your calendar, your computer, and live by it. And remember, vision without action is just a daydream, but action without vision is your worst nightmare. That's an old Japanese proverb. But vision and action together, that is the queen. Let's talk now about what your realm is. Your realm includes anything for which you are totally and completely 100% responsible. Your realm is anything for which you make the final decisions and have the final authority. Your realm includes your own body, first of all, and that certainly includes the decision to remain pregnant or not. No man, even the father, has any right ever to tell you what may grow in your woman's body, because if you cannot control your own body, you are nothing more than a slave. Secondly, your physical home is your realm. Generally speaking, there can only be one queen per household. A Chinese character for peace is composed of the characters for roof and woman, with woman beneath roof. This means that for peace to reign in a household, there must be one woman, one ultimate authority, one queen for that house. Third, your realm includes all who permanently live within your home, including children and animals. Everyone is within your purview, and everyone must agree to your vision and standards. If you share it with a man, you are still queen, and it is still completely your realm, your responsibility. Remember, there is no king equal to a queen. She may share workaday responsibilities with a husband or male partner, and certainly she may choose to delegate large chunks of responsibility for certain aspects of the home as she sees fit. But overall, the spiritual vibration, the physical condition, and feeling tone of the home is her ultimate responsibility. And so it is her realm, not his. A husband and wife can share a home, but the queen cannot, in the spiritual and energetic sense, share equally with a man the ultimate authority for the vibration of the home. The buck has to stop somewhere. What if there is a disagreement about how the home should be kept? Whose values win? For peace to prevail, there must be one queen, one decider. The husband, the male, must agree to live in that queen's realm and within the scope of her spiritual authority. If he cannot and does not, there will never be peace in that realm. For much of this conversation, we discuss the scenario of a woman with a male partner. And in this case, the woman must always lead the man. Lesbian spouses, on the other hand, have a wide variety of arrangements they can make. Sometimes they do the double queen thing, where each has responsibility for an aspect of life that they share. One lesbian couple I know divides it up this way. One is responsible for everything inside the house. The other is responsible for everything outside the house. It works for them. Sometimes a couple, both of them, are such aware people that there need be no clear leader of the values in the house because both of them are of such like mind in everything. How beautiful that is. Lesbian or heterosexual, whatever the case, it is imperative that there be one set of values in the house and that in case of a disagreement about those values, there must be a final person to decide. That is the role of the queen. Let's talk about your energy field. What are you pouring your energy into? The queen understands that she is always trading her life energy, what's in her vessel, her body, for that which she is putting her attention and time and focus on. So here's a sobering thought. A 40-year-old woman, according to one statistic at least, can expect to have about 44 more years of life, or 385,440 hours left to her. Oh my goddess, that really brings things into perspective. One of the queen's primary jobs is to make sure life energy is flowing easily within her realm and is channeled in a useful way. The queen in you knows that leaking energy is actually a crime, an energetic crime, both against yourself and against your realm. So if you have, say, 380,000 hours left of this lifetime, how many of those hours do you really want to waste leaking sacred life force, throwing away divine energy, watching TV, gossiping on the phone, worrying, regretting, listening to friends complain endlessly about the same old stuff, listening to yourself complain about the same old stuff? The more energy you leak from your sacred vessel, your body, mind, spirit, heart complex, the longer it takes to manifest any kind of great vision for yourself and your realm. Do you throw away good food? No, that would be wasting energy, wasting the gifts of the divine. So it serves us as women to become much more aware of how we are wasting life force energy every day. Life force energy, which is the basic gift of the divine to us. Let's talk now about energy leaking. Of course, energy is leaked in a zillion ways. Here are just a few examples of the most common. Check off your personal favorites. Fantasizing. Fantasizing is a huge energy drainer. It's completely different from visualizing. Fantasizing is imagining a scene that cannot take place in your life now. For example, you're a medieval princess having a romance with a handsome knight in a Middle Ages setting. Visioning or visualizing is creating a scene that has a possibility of coming forth in this reality in which you are engaged now. Unless you're a waitress at medieval times, the first is never going to happen. Gossiping. Ubiquitous and deadly. It is natural to talk about what's happening with those in your life. That's fine. Gossiping is coming up with or passing on negative information that you know is helping no one, and maybe getting a little thrill from it. Every time you do this, the life force of at least 3 people is diminished. You, the listener, and the person you are talking about. At some level, we are all in silent communication. That means that the person you are talking about will pick up the vibe of your negativity in the unseen world, and it will negatively affect your relationship with them. Assume at some level everyone knows everything you are saying. You know what they say, average minds talk about people and what they are doing. Fine minds discuss events and what's happening in the world. But great minds focus on eternal principles. The queen is the person of the great mind. Denial, denying reality, what is actually in front of you. It requires massive amounts of energy to deny reality, energy that the queen prefers to use for manifestation of the condition she desires, rather than avoiding what she dislikes. Avoidance of the inevitable, resistance, procrastination, those are all similar states to denial. Perfectionism, over-controlling life's details. Good heavens, so much energy is spent in trying to get every last thing perfect. Good enough is usually good enough. The queen does not waste energy trying to make everything perfect. Worrying. In subtle body energetics, the mental activity of worrying is literally vomiting precious energy forward into the non-existent location typically called the future. When you need to get something toxic off your stomach, vomiting is certainly the thing to do. When, however, you are in that awful repeating, retching phase, vomiting bile over and over again to no good purpose, that is the energetic correlation to worrying, and it is just as pointless and just as exhausting. Regretting. The mental activity of regretting is literally the leaking by the subtle body of precious energy energetically backward into the non-existent location typically called the past. A waste of good energy, very draining. Suppression. Consider how much energy is required to keep a lid on a pressure cooker trying to blow. And when it finally does blow, as it eventually must, think how dangerous that flying lid is to anyone in its path. Suppression is similar to denial. It requires massive amounts of energy that could much better be used in working towards the manifestation of desires. People-pleasing. People-pleasing is literally willingly handing over your power to someone else. Imagine yourself lying down on the ground as people walk all over you, and you keep holding up for them whatever you have. They reach down and take what you are offering as they stomp all over you, then walk away, leaving you nothing and all beat up and dirty to boot. This is the energetic quality of people-pleasing. The queen's first priority is doing what is right for her realm, not trying to please any single individual. The queen never has a footprint on her face. The queen works to serve her realm well. She is not interested in whether individual persons are pleased with her or not. Self-denigration and shame. Of all the energy leaking behaviors, this is the most separated from source and the most damaging on a long-term basis. It is also the most difficult to stop doing on one's own and usually requires outside help to overcome. Shame is not a leaking of energy so much as a complete crushing of it. When you are crushed, it is nearly impossible to get up on your own. If you are in the state of shame, get some help. Clutter. Oh, yes, sister, we're talking about the garage here. There is an invisible energetic cord going from your belly to every single thing you are responsible for, every item you own, no matter how small. Order keeps the cords, orderly and flowing smoothly with energy. Clutter, on the other hand, creates energetic cord spaghetti, all tangled up. The cords going from you to the clutter cannot flow with energy smoothly and properly. Energy gets stuck, coagulates, and leaks out your body into the clutter of the garage, the closets, the junk drawers. I know people who have 2 and 3 storage units, all of them filled to the brim with stuff they have not used in 10 years. They actually have zillions of individual energy cords, all leaking energy towards unused, unwanted, unloved, uncared for things. Exhausting. Indecision, waffling, dithering, second-guessing yourself once you have come to a decision. Teeter-tottering is exhausting and draining. Commitment to your good vision and your own laws is empowering. Entertainment. Negative entertainment drains and weakens you. 75% of all television, films, and video games are negative, fear-based, life-denying, and/or violent, which is all energy draining and weakening. Why allow your energy to be sucked and your body to be assaulted by someone else's nightmare vision? Pictures shown to water change the water for better or worse. Your body is filled with water. When you show pictures to your body, you are changing it for better or worse. Be very conscious of the kind of pictures you repeatedly show to your sacred body through your eyes. Whining. Neediness, projecting onto family members and friends, big energy suckers. Friends who continually offer helpful criticism. Trying to hold the variance between what you know this to be, passive-aggressive behavior, and what you wish it was, loving communication from a supporter, causes a huge energy drain. Call negative behaviors what they are with clarity, at least to yourself, no matter how much you love the speaker. Too much use of your devices. Half of all email is someone asking you to do something for them, and the other half is someone wanting you to listen to their complaints. Place boundaries on the way you engage with your email, or it will drain you dry. Same with Facebook and all other social media. None of it really makes you happy. None of it really energizes you. These are just a few of the energy leakers in our lives. Pick out the ones that you think really are happening for you. And just 1 or 2 to start and see if you can conquer those, then move on to the next. Don't try to do it all at once. It's overwhelming, and that's energy draining in and of itself. So just pick 1 or 2 that you want to work on. Make it a habit, clear those from your life, and then move on so that your energy is always beautifully contained in your sacred body, mind, spirit, heart vessel. Blessed be. Of course, it's natural to feel depleted sometimes. So here are some easy things you can incorporate into your life when you feel depleted of energy. 1. Stand on the grass in bare feet. Open up the chakras on the soles and absorb energy from Mother Earth. 2. Drink a glass of pure water with the intention to plump up your energy. 3. Eat a small amount of raw food. With every bite, feel the life force being absorbed gratefully by your body. 4. Discard, recycle, or give one thing away. Feel the cord from you to that thing energetically dissolving and freeing you. 5. Read a passage from a spiritually uplifting book. Keep a favorite on your desk. 6. Journal for 3 minutes on whatever comes to mind. Express gratitude for some blessing in your life in the final sentence. Keep your journal handy on your desk as you work. 7. Stand under the moon with your arms upraised and ask Moon Mother to bless you with her energy. Feel the gentle light entering your body and empowering you. 8. Play with a companion animal. Be in your maiden aspect in freedom and joy. 9. Take a break at sunset, and for 3 minutes, watch the sun setting. Esoteric wisdom says that gazing softly and peacefully at the setting sun allows a human body to energetically absorb all nutrients that have been taken in during the previous hours. So feel your body absorbing and utilizing those nutrients you have ingested during the day in the previous hours. 10. Sit under a tree with your back to the trunk. Connect with the being of the tree. Ask permission to share energy. Give something, receive something. After each energy consolidation activity, always remember to say thank you and to express gratitude. If appropriate to the situation, you can leave something as your thank you. Indigenous gratitude practices include pulling out a single hair and leaving it at the base of a flower or herb you picked, or a tree you sat under, gathering saliva in your mouth and offering it to the base of the plant or to the ground, slowly and with reverence as a water blessing. Acknowledging and saying thank you to the energetic beings living in that seeming inanimate object. For example, say thank you to the tiny beings living inside your computer or the paper of your journal. Now, these are 10 simple and quick, easy energy consolidation techniques you can always use. Doesn't really require very much of anything, just what you have around. Whenever you feel depleted, these are natural ways, much better than caffeine or sugar or alcohol. Use these energy consolidation techniques to build yourself back up when you feel low on energy. Let's talk a moment about the queen and fear. The mother is the aspect of woman which keeps the individual safe. The queen is the aspect of woman which keeps the group or civilization at large safe. Ideally, when we are a child, our mom keeps us feeling relatively safe. But when we grow up, she is no longer there on a daily basis to protect us. In a correctly functioning society, as we come into adulthood, that would be when the transition to allowing 2 types of queens to help us feel safe is supposed to be made. Our own inner queen, and also a leader queen, someone leading our tribe or village or city or country. But because there are so few actual queens in the world, few of us ever get to really feel that proper transition. We lose the safety of a mother, but we do not gain the safety of a queen, either our own internal queen or a good queen in whose realm we may live safely. Constant fear is not natural to humans living in small, safe, matriarchal tribes, but a sort of fear that is a continual, nagging anxiety is completely expected living in the dominator model culture we experience as women today. Fear is almost the continuous state for most women in patriarchy. Ask 100 American women what they are most afraid of, and 93% of them will say the same thing. It has 5 different aspects, but one outcome. Here it is. The top 5 things that women fear. I call it, get a bag already. Number 1, losing a job unexpectedly with no warning, which leads to having no money to pay the rent, which leads to being evicted, which leads to becoming a bag lady. 2, being abandoned by one's spouse, which leads to less financial support, which leads to being evicted, which then leads to becoming a bag lady. 3, being injured and unable to work. So let's not waste any time. Let's just go straight to becoming a bag lady. 4, speaking in public, doing poorly, which results in being laughed at by friends and coworkers, which leads to ostracism and shunning. Then, yes, you guessed it, becoming a bag lady. 5, getting old. Then, of course, what else could happen? You become a bag lady. You know, we joke, but women are actually terrified of becoming a bag lady. The more queen you have, the more you will protect yourself, the more you will take care of yourself, the more you will make a plan for yourself, and the less the chance that the dreaded bag lady thing will happen to you. The queen keeps you and everyone else much, much safer. Whenever we are seriously fearful or enraged or depressed, it's always true that at that moment we are very, very low on life force. To move out of these states, we must first stop all energy leaking activities and then allow divine life force to begin to build within us from our center out. When you increase the amount of divine energy in your body, conditions around you might not change immediately, but your perspective becomes much more confident right away. You've probably experienced this. One moment you are undergoing a severe life challenge, yet somehow you feel strong and optimistic, and another moment you break a shoelace and you dissolve into a puddle of tears. In the second case, you had a dearth of life force in your body, a very low amount of divine energy. But when your body is chock full of energy, you can handle almost anything with confidence. So when you are frightened, don't lean, don't impinge, don't infringe on others looking for energy. That's vampiric. Instead, gather your energy with a few of the techniques we just shared, or try one or more of the following etheric exercises that will bolster your personal energy in the moment while you continue to work on reducing daily energy leaks in your life. I learned some of these from Stuart Wilde, a true goddess man. 1. Make a fist and thump yourself firmly 5 or 6 times in the center of your chest, at about your sternum. This opens your heart chakra temporarily to allow more energy to flow. Be gentle, no pounding. Number 2, lie down if you can. You can also do this seated. And put your left hand on your navel and your right hand over your left hand. Press firmly and gently inward. In your etheric body, when you're afraid, fear flows out of the solar plexus like water out of a big drain pipe, sucking buckets of your energy out with it. Energy you cannot afford to lose. Putting your hands over this area stems the flow. The less energy you hemorrhage, the calmer and safer you feel. 3. Lock the fingers of both hands together and place them on the top of your head. Pull your arms downward, pressing your head gently toward the ground. This is useful when your negative imagination is running wild, making up all sorts of stories of all the terrible things that are going to happen next to you. 4. Sometimes in an unconscious state, we allow portions of our body to go numb. This clogs and stops the energy from flowing, and disease will very possibly eventually result in that area. Some people are virtually numb all over and don't really connect any longer with major portions of their body. So if this is true for you, choose one area that feels numb to you, or an area that is actually in pain, and gently start to tap it with your fingertips. Very gently, no hard poking, very soft, soft. As you softly tap, repeat, wake up, wake up. I love you. I welcome you back to this body. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you. You might start to cry. This is good. Number 5, see the fear or negativity as a lump of sticky, icky gray dough in your chest. Grab it with your right hand and with a feeling of purpose, power, and command, like a warrior queen, yell Boudica and throw it to the ground, letting it land on Mother Earth. Pat it firmly into the earth and thank her gratefully as she receives it back and it melts down into her soil. Number 6, stand in your shower or in warm running water, aware of what you want to release. Maybe tiredness, maybe fear, anxiety, maybe irritation. Let it sit in your belly or heart or wherever it seems to be focused, feeling it completely. As the water of the Queen continues to pour and wash over you, bringing you energy to experience the painful feelings. At some point you will feel complete. Bless and thank it, because we cannot truly release something until we honor it, bless it, and thank it. And purposefully move it from your belly to the surface of your skin, where the Queen's element of water now washes you clean. Absorb joy into the spaces of your body that are now freed up. 7. Have a glass of clean, pure water before you, not in plastic. Consider what you want to release and what you want to replace it with. Meditate on the water, sending that desired quality to it. Or you can write descriptive words on a piece of paper and tape it to the outside of the glass. Leave the glass on your table or altar. Go to the bathroom and urinate. As you are seated, let your water pass, feeling the negative emotion moving through you and being released. Bless and thank it as it passes, even if you didn't understand it fully. Flush with purpose and gratitude. Wash your hands. Return to the table with the water glass. Reinforce your meditation for another minute, then drink the water, knowing that as you do, the new quality is entering the spaces of your body made by the departure of that which was released a moment ago. Thank you, Stuart. I bless you for all you gave me in Ecuador. I bless you for these techniques. Blessed be. Let's spend a moment talking about writing out affirmations. We all know that writing out affirmations about our health, our wealth, our work, our relationships actually does work. There's a lot of evidence for that. If we don't have any limiting societal beliefs that circumvent those affirmations at the subliminal level. For most of us, no matter how much personal work we've done, no matter how advanced and enlightened we think we are, all kinds of societal beliefs still lurk in our subconscious, subverting all the power of our affirmations. Before your affirmations can truly work for you, you must root out these manifestation breakers and bring them to the surface to examine them. Once you become conscious of them, they have much less ability to control you. Crystal Nani has authored a wonderful book on tribal beliefs called Sacred Choices, Thinking Outside the Tribe to Heal Your Spirit. A book that can help you become much more aware of what your personal societal myths might be. And we mentioned just a few of the more common ones earlier in this class. So I urge you to explore the fascinating world of societal beliefs in greater depth for yourself. So for now, let's just understand that societal beliefs are the untrue beliefs that are passed down to us from our parents, our families, our culture. Most of them are limiting, negative, scarcity, and fear-based. The queenly woman is very aware of negative societal myths, particularly the specific favorites of her family, the ones that are so familiar to her that they seem like truth. Money doesn't grow on trees. The queen doesn't have to eliminate her societal beliefs immediately, but she does need to be very aware of her personal societal beliefs so that she can correct for them in her leadership of her realm. Most of us try to pass on our own mistaken beliefs to both those in our realm and outside it, because they sound like truth to us, so we repeat them, thinking we are repeating some kind of helpful truth. If a woman continues to be unconscious about these errors, she will indeed be guilty of passing them down to those in her realm. One of the Queen's most important jobs is to set an overall example to those in her realm for replacing negative societal myths with divine truth. Most of us know the rules for writing an effective affirmation, but just for the sake of completeness, we will include them here. Write your affirmations for the areas of health, relationship, work, and money, and follow these guidelines. Then read them every day, or make a recording of your voice on your iPhone and listen 2 or 3 times a day. Saturate your mind with what you want. Number 1, make it plausible. Your mind has to believe. You can add, "it is reasonable to believe," if you think that will help you. Number 2, make it positive. Must phrase it in what you want, not what you don't want. Number 3, check for any conflicting hidden societal beliefs that may contradict your affirmation. Number 4, phrase it in the present tense. It is always now for the universe. Number 5, make it feel good, make it exciting. Add a feeling word or words. Number 6, focus on the affirmation itself, not necessarily the specific steps needed to arrive at that condition. They call that outlining for God. Don't outline for Goddess. Number 7, express gratitude. Number 8, add at the end this or something better. Let's go back to your personal vision, the way you completed the phrase, "I am here on Mother Earth too." After you have come to clarity on your general vision for yourself and your life, you might enjoy turning it into a motto. A motto is defined as a short expression of a guiding principle. The word motto is Italian for pledge. Your motto is your personal pledge to yourself and to the world as to how you are walking as queen of your realm. Mottos are short, powerful affirmations and very fast magic. In the olden days, every royal family had a motto, and many individuals had personal mottos. This identified the family, summed its vision up in a short, powerful, memorable phrase, and served to energize that vision. Everyone knew who everyone was by their flag, their crest, their motto. In modern times, all well-marketed corporations have mottos, like Nike's "Just Do It." Mottos help us remember people and organizations. They give them weight and power. The Three Musketeers, all for one and one for all. If you wish, you could have a lot of fun creating a personal motto that sums up in a catchy, memorable phrase your unique and individual vision for your life and your realm. In medieval times, great store was put in a motto. Sometimes it took years of thinking, mulling, refining, considering, before the exact one was hit upon and accepted. So don't be surprised if it takes you some time to arrive at yours. Be patient, ask your brilliant subconscious self to create this, then check in every day by sitting silently, peacefully, alone with a pen and a clean sheet of paper, ready to receive inspiration from your deeper self. Ask yourself, what do I want to feel when I hear this phrase? What do I want others to feel? What words inspire me? What words do I love? The motto for my current work, Queen of Your Realm, is "Life as it was always meant to be." For me, this conveys a certain feeling of inevitability of goodness. When I hear these words, I relax into a different state, calmer, more powerful, more peaceful. Your motto can do that for you, can help to put you into a certain feeling state that you desire. Use your vision statement as inspiration because while they don't have to be identical, ideally there should be congruence between the two because the motto grows out of your vision. They should relate closely to one another. Women who are mothers would do well to actively involve their husbands and children in the creation of the family motto. Women company owners would do well to solicit the opinions and input of employees in the creation of the company motto so all can feel a part of it. Have everyone be part of the creation of it. Then you won't have to convince them later to buy in. They will willingly support what they have had a hand in creating. You might wish to research through the internet your family's coat of arms or motto if you think they have had one. If you find one, you may wish to simply use it as inspiration for your personal motto or your crest, as the motto of your family hundreds of years ago will not very likely relate to you in the here and now for your realm. But even if you don't find anything related to your family name, a half an hour of research can inspire you to create a truly great motto as you see the vision for greatness that others have held down through the ages for themselves. The motto of the British monarchs is Dieu et mon droit, or God and my right. This group appears to have had no difficulty whatsoever with the idea of their own greatness. Neither should you. Make your pledge to yourself in the form of your own unique motto. We've spoken of the Queen's vision and how important a vision is to her ability to design the life she desires. We've spoken of how societal myths can subvert a woman's vision. Let's talk now of mass mind, something very much related to societal myths. Every day I ask myself, am I in mass mind or am I in queen mind? Queen mind is the opposite of mass mind. Mass mind is the collection of what everyone is thinking on the planet right now. Whatever the greatest number of people are thinking is true, is what mass mind says is true. Mass mind is what you hear on the news, read in the papers. Wars are initiated and carried on with mass mind. Mass mind believes all the societal myths because mass mind is founded on societal myth. There is not enough. I can't afford it. Disaster is sure to come. Here today, gone tomorrow. You can't fight City Hall. Things are only going to get worse. How do I know? The experts are telling us so. They must be right. Economic indicators say the jobless rate is climbing. Everybody's getting sick. It's flu season. This always happens to me. People are out to get you. Nobody cares anymore. The government can't be trusted. People are no good. Mass mind is usually quite negative because it is deeply rooted in human fear, fear of lack, of someone hurting us, of being disappointed, of not getting what we need, of not being loved or appreciated, of being vulnerable to harm. Mass mind is shown in all those little sayings that so many people mindlessly repeat. The Queen is a leader. The Queen does not buy into mass mind because she knows that a great leader cannot lead from mass mind. The definition of a great leader is someone who holds their own good reality apart from mass mind and holds it so strongly that they actually can change the direction of mass mind. Humanity, in its mass mind despair, is crying out for these kinds of people. This kind of singular consciousness, the mentality that does not, that will not buy into negativity. Humanity is crying out for queen mind. This is part of her magic. So, do you have mass mind or do you have queen mind? The woman with queen mind knows she is the architect of her reality. So she chooses what she is going to hold internally, regardless of what is going on with mass mind all around her. For she knows this eternal truth. That which you focus on tends to manifest in physical reality. Where attention goes, energy flows. Certainly she is aware of mass mind. She is not a fool. She is not ignorant. She's not in denial about what is happening in the world. She simply does not buy in, because she knows this is not the way to live and not the way to lead. If you, as queen of your realm, lead your realm in unconscious agreement with mass mind, you will be a very weak queen, and your realm will be in essentially the same shape as everyone else. Whatever is true for the masses will be true for you. If mass mind says jobs are scarce, you may lose your job. If mass mind says there is not enough for everyone, you and your realm will experience not enoughness. When an economy tanks, that's mass mind operating. It is the combined consciousness of millions of people coming to the conclusion that things are worse now and the system we've believed in to this point now can no longer be trusted. They may be right, and it may be true for the masses, but the Queen knows that what is true for the masses does not necessarily have to be true for her and her realm. She is never a statistic. She does not participate in mass mind. The Queen knows that she can always be the exception to the disaster that may be affecting everyone else. The tornado can hit the town, and the Queen's house may be the only one still standing. Have you ever gotten sick and told someone as the explanation for your illness, "It's going around. I got what everyone else has"? That is mass mind. If you believe that something is going around, if you believe that that can or will harm you, that is mass mind. It's an error. Something may indeed be going around, but that does not mean that you have to succumb to it. Because how many times in your life was something going around, yet you did not succumb, you did not get sick? Many times. Why? Probably your immune system, for whatever reason, was more powerful at that moment that the thing was going around. You probably had more life force, more divine energy in your container, in your body at that moment. Yes, it was indeed going around, but it didn't affect you. You remained well. So a statement closer to truth is that it's your immune system that determines illness or health, not what's going around. To get even closer to truth, it's actually the amount of life force in your body at any given moment which determines your health or sickness. When something is going around and everybody's got it, yet you don't get sick, you are probably in Queen mind. You are not buying into the societal myth that it's going around so everyone gets sick. In the future, even if you do get sick, as a thinking queen, don't give in to the victim thinking of something going around. Don't give away so easily your power to command your own body. Attribute it to something a little closer to reality. For whatever reason, your divine energy was somewhat diminished, which caused a weakened immune system, which allowed in something that was going around. You know you have a great deal of power over your immune system, much more so than the ability to keep every germ going around away from you. That's not even possible. So state the truth. That keeps your power with you instead of giving it away to mass mind. That keeps you in Queen mind. Sometimes there are forces at work that even the power of Queen mind cannot change. If an asteroid hits the planet and the resulting debris and ash cloud blocks all sunlight and circles the Earth for 2 years and 3/4 of the beings on Earth die, well, probably, your registrations for your classical ballet school are going to be down too, no matter what you hold in your consciousness. But the truth is that apart from asteroids and such, most of our daily reality we can indeed command with our consciousness, with our Queen mind. I will not lie to you. Queen mind takes great effort, tremendous focus, continued discipline. Nothing is easier than simply going along with the prevailing thought patterns. That's why there are actually so few real queens of power in the world, because holding truth and creating your own reality in the face of the combined force of millions of human beings with mass mind consciousness, all of it saying everything's going to hell in a handbasket, all telling you it's going around, we're all going to get sick, every ad screaming it's flu season. Well, holding your own reality as queen in the face of all that requires immense personal power, immense spiritual clarity, immense continued mental focus. The ability to do this is real magic. So, as queens, let us ask ourselves, today, will we succumb to mass mind or will we hold Queen mind? The world does not need another individual consciousness going along with the depressing fear and lack-based choices of mass mind. No, what it needs is another powerful and spiritually aware woman with Queen mind. Let us resolve to be one of the rare and magical queens. Let us resolve to encourage all our sisters to be queens, so that the queen eventually once again becomes the norm for women, not the rarity. It's the only way we can help ourselves. It's the only way we can help the world. Blessed be. This concludes Class 3, The Architect of Life. In this class, we have discussed how the Queen builds her life and realm on a foundation of laws. We discuss what it means for a woman's queen aspect to serve as the visionary for her realm. We've shared ways in which a queenly woman can best design and manifest her vision. We also looked at societal beliefs and how they can derail a woman's manifestation. We talked about how to create workable affirmations, and we offered practical tips on what to do when experiencing fear and what to do when depleted of energy. Plus, we gave you fun suggestions for creating a motto for yourself. And finally, we shared the extremely important difference between queen mind and mass mind. In our next class, Class 4, The Sovereign, we will talk about what it means to be truly sovereign in one's life. We discuss the importance of authority with responsibility, what to do with situations of overwhelm, and how to handle plots and projections, something every queen eventually must deal with. Until then, ask your questions and send in your comments, and walk in the world as the queen you are. Blessed be.